tell us so. Morning 2 o'clock, we don't tell us. So this is a short one. I let just see it through this session. Yeah. First and foremost, you don't tell us where. Say, I don't come back to me. Firstly, I want to tell you now, plenty thank you. Because some man from who start this press conference, they are. You know, it's you constantly. Some face and name. Anytime you can see them. So we don't try. And see? If you're not interested in anything, you're not going to sustain this kind of participation. And we back. Now we're able for call this press conference. If we can, nobody knows here. Nobody will see here. A proposal. But they said that a cabinet, the review. Yeah. But really, I want to appreciate we all when it can. And as an administration, it will also show the importance we attach to UNA as the only conduit through which government is able to pass message to the people. Without UNA, we're not going to be able to take the message to the people that we want to talk to. And make it come on there. So if finder will define this purpose, why we can. Not to for just can sign for that small thing and go. Because we believe, say, whatever thing we want to talk to people, not only when we can. And we also want to narrow the space for rumor, disinformation and misinformation by bringing relevant stakeholders that talk on trending issues so that the correct information gets out. Now that we know what we're able to do for pass on correct information to people. How you go reporter? Left to your conscience. How you go talker? It's up to you. But the only thing we all know, this salon, a big pass we all. And a salon we deserve. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you formally to today's edition of the usual press briefing. Usai will bring the media face to face with duty bearers. They talk to them, they will get the opportunity for ask the questions when the one that we know they are. We will ask. Because some questions when you ask, you already know the answer. But you want to let them talk and let Omaye for tomorrow. So I tell them, let's take it. Today, there are very prominent things that we can talk on. Very prominent and relevant issues. When you want the phases, we don't vote in hand. You don't say, we need business. But let's start with the usual updates. Okay, thank you very much. You let me business. So somebody put you perfect. Say the way I see that my editor. Where are you? He said, I will not my fight. So he still continue to give me courage. For today, the update. I will start with the minister. Yes? Thank you very much. So, man, in the way to you don't die, they tell me talk good about you. But the minister left alive because of the good work that he do, because of this thing that he do for help, for broadening the coverage, the civic engagement. People recognize her. And what we call the Bible Service Delivery Award. Everybody they want you pin based on what they do, the service where they deliver, they recognize you. Even though the minister not be present, but they talk fine. So they get this award because of a young contribution, what they do for deliver on the mandate of the bar. Every ministry where they create their purpose. You where they appoint that ministry, and they make people know the worth of that ministry. And I believe say the minister and the team will don't do very well. So recognition of the minister and a recognition for the ministry. So appreciate you and them when they did this by way of service award, service delivery award for recognize the minister. Also, the health minister, Dr. Austin Denby, with the country representative of the World Health Organization and the Food Agricultural Organization, we go meet the president for briefer because Salon win $20 million from the pandemic fund. Because of all the things that we will do in the health sector, that's one money where they put for the country to benefit for able health, pandemic, preparedness, people get small thing. That 20 million where they allocate to Australia. The minister, son, and lead the team for let them go brief the president on that kind of goodness way between. Again, there's the Ministry of Communication, Technology and Innovation. We don't sign some party business with prominent organizations. Waiting this party business for, and for let them make sure say we universities get internet connectivity. All man I use small code you know. You want to one just talk say nothing can happen. We wait before now. We in research. Now book way old for the grandpa now you read. We take church. Now internet connectivity. Now we universities. They don't even pilot. Now when you go for big college, say the 31st, now free internet service. You are not being so. You are every day. Don't come up later. But a day. You want to know not a day, but a day now. Again, DSTI, the Directorate for Science, Technology and Innovation. They don't couple all the syllabus from the early childhood education to SS3. That's syllabus now. They say again on internet now. Now the learning passport platform. So if you go to that platform, all the syllabus, you're able to get access to it. And also the post platform. And also the try. They said again, the president will also receive a high-level delegation from the ECOWAS Human Capital Development Program, led by Mr. Robin Johnson. Then come and go meet the Minister of Planning and Economic Development. For look at waiting on achievement when it comes to the human capital development. When President Bill become, he said, it puts more emphasis not on the resources of Sierra Leone, the diamond or we don't difference for. It's like the human capital like they develop. So those initiatives will be put together, all the implement, it attract other people now, and they can watch what we do and how we do it. a very small country of less than 8 million, they do something, others they learn from, but they can't see. Based on what they see, something people attract funding for them to do more. But they can, the first thing, I for let the minister take them through what we want to do so far in education, in the health sector, based on what is at the dream of the president. The president has some of in waka there. Like what people say, it's like fly. You want about money, not anything. Everybody knows that the way the situation will go, there's already what we go throughout Europe, America. If I don't know something in where they hide, we talk about that. Is any give money. So some of them already showed. You president, you sit down, 97 Peking. Whereas our president come here, I'm president, the balance very understands it. So if you don't live in a boss in the Senate, there's a president a pass through, like minister, they really get a place for pass. So if I need daily, where the shape gets, I mean, the president can do, they want to carry. Say, it will learn from within the happen in terms of agriculture, like Ibadan. Because when you say fit salon, you have to look at what people they don't do, how they do them, and get the best practices and implement them. So you see, the buying itself, in not saying possible, you go for one land. We also see inside the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs commemorate the International Women's Day. But good people there, including the Vice President, they did it for honor that day. We get reason for celebrate that day because we don't do tremendous efforts to narrow the gap between man and woman in the competition. If we don't able to get 30% representation across board in parliament, in cabinet, in other positions, then we get right for celebrate that particular day. Because what it stands for, like the president try to achieve. But good thing happen. But I will just going to say those two things. Ladies and gentlemen, today panel, they bring to you what they are called the purpose of existence. The why we can here. First and foremost, you need to define why I need for this press conference. Is it really relevant to me? If you're not getting nothing for coming at the press conference, then you better let you use the time, because I said time and money. So when the president creates ministries, and on purpose, they're going to divulge communication from information and add civic education. Meaning, we need, as the Minister of Information and Civic Education, for expand with civic engagement, for open space, for engage more, for let the message reach at the last mile. I mean, people communication, they bring civic education. For let me tell this family now, who am I? What to make you a family? So when the president gets a second opportunity in 2023, one of the ministries we really pay attention to, like the one where the Ministry of Public Administration and Political Affairs. Because in big five game changers, again what you call revamping the public administration or public sector. So a gentleman was appointed to that ministry. And one of the mandates where he gets, and for let us see how our public sector, when I talk about public sector, and look at why we really need for look at the public sector. Just put Siratel against Orange or Africell. Take national insurance company, put it against other insurance companies. Anyway that Siratel or national compared to the others, then you will see why we will pay attention to our public sector. So for today's panel, we have a minister charged with that responsibility. So we're going to talk to the Honorable Minister of Public Affairs, of Public Administration and Political Affairs, Honorable Amara Kalon, for let me tell you, from when they appointed as minister to date, how far in accomplishing the purpose of that ministry. Second, we get the Director General for the Human Resources Management Office of this country, with our Director General, Komon-Tok. In presence now, for the first time, after many years, the country don't review the Civil Service Code of Conduct. We always feel like we just say the Civil Service Code of Conduct. In fact, I am guided by the Civil Service Code of Conduct. Most of you never say. Now they say they don't review. What is in there? What do we expect from the new Civil Service Code of Conduct? We'll get a presentation from the Director General. Then, the Deputy Director General also, as a woman, Deputy Director, as a woman now, Madam Dima, that name me out to but tell me, in as a woman, waiting in and incompetent for expect in this new Civil Service Code of Conduct. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to kickstart proper, one always speak out more in time. You know, all responsible, you know, study, we don't let them decide. So they flow for our poor. His Excellency, to this platform, I want to explain to this congress and the cable message as the minister, how far have we come to meet the expectations of HE in revamping the public sector?
Thank you very much, Sheikh Hafiz Mufti. Imam, you know, holding a cabinet now too. And it's how they say ministers, what they say, what they call like, you know, the second Ramadan Kareem, and happy days to the brothers and sisters so much has not happened during the period of that review since August 17, 2023, where His Excellency the President deemed it necessary for establish the Ministry of Public Administration and Political Affairs by extending the mandate of the Ministry of Political and Public Affairs. The first thing we do as a ministry now for demystify, or people understand what this public administration is all about. Yeah. So we want to let people that know what is there inside this public administration. So we get an international conference. We bring countries that we don't do reforms. Kenya, the Egypt, South Africa, and all the Ghana. We bring them down. They all can discuss about this reforms. And from that conference, then we will define the agenda before going to the strategic roadmap. And I'm happy for Tok Naya saying, Mr. Minister, that we now get a strategic roadmap. We now define how we will carry out this reform. And many times I don't get the media people on the office. Mr. Minister, we want to say anything we have to. The question there is over there as we said. The Ministry of Public Administration and the reform of the public service is not something where it is not tangible. I think we don't see. I think first of all, that clear that I think we don't see the outcome. You will see the output. For example, we haven't seen the service codes. We have not reviewed. This is the one. You will see how because it's an output. We have reviewed it. It has now been presented. But the outcome of this, you know, is seen physically. Because that behavioral pattern is how people behave. Now in this document, they try to talk around. So that was saying, go build hospital, people they see the hospital, and see where you give injections to people, then you see the medicine, then you see the doctor, then you see people that they wear. No, that's not how it works. So you put at school, you put beginning at school, you put teacher at the day, and you see beginning they go class 1, class 2, class 3, then you see them go university, and they get money, they bills as the outcome. No, that's not how it is. The reform public service, the reform is about mindset and people their mindset and change behavioral pattern. Now I talk about the reform of the public service. So the national transformative strategy give me 8 pillars. What they look at, what believe see. When we do a scoping mission for understanding at the status quo of the public service of Sierra Leone, we come up with those 8 recommendations as a solution, not a complete solution, but a solution where we lead with for them to get a public service in Sierra Leone where it will be answerable to the needs and aspirations of the people. So one of the pillars are the institutional restructuring. We ask ourselves the question, do we really get all the institutions will get about 150 or something government institutions, are they really relevant? They're really relevant to the development agenda of Sierra Leone. We see lots of institutions that get conflicting mandate, responsibilities. You see that in two, 3 institutions they do the same thing, they collect money from the same government cover. So it's wasted. So we see that we do organizational structure. So therefore do an institutional assessment and look at those MDs there and look down where they get conflicting mandates and make recommendations for rationalization. So meaning therefore repeat so we say okay, this one and 2, let them go first. Then we left this one, then you do this one, then we'll put them 3 and they do. Or can we match this other and then put them together and be one? So that we will create value for money. But also therefore do with the policy environment. Most of the acts and the policy they develop and they do that problem. And the last will be in a cabinet where this Mr. Minister, this trouble come between NACID and NCD. Yes, with a small trouble. And if you look NACID their act, you look NCD their act, are almost the same. Not the same. So we have to look at whether we have to match them and make them one. Because you cannot have the 2 of them doing the same thing with the same policy, with the same act, doing the same thing, taking money from the cover. So either we kill one or we match them. The same thing, there are a lot of institutions that get problem. The second to so look at human resource management to people that the Director General is going to have. How do we manage the human resource of this country? In terms of recruitment, or the need for recruitment right up to the exit strategy with somebody called retirement. How we onboard or recruit people them, how they onboard them into the system, how they promote them, how they transfer them, which are the competence to look for transfers for promotion, how we therefore say this person don't look for retirement and all the rest of it. We therefore look at those human resource management processes and systems and do a thorough review, and one of the 2 therefore do not digitalize them so that people they have access and understand within the happen. The other one pillar will be look at, we say look at capacity building. If you look at the job family, the different job families in the public service, you look at the teacher, you look at the health service, you look at the security, you look at the judiciary, you look at the legislative, we don't get capacity. There is no capacity. So you find out, say, people then put their effort, but we always limit yourself to the British system when they left you. Take it in at the same HR system, take it in at the same teacher curriculum we develop, take it, they will not shift it. For say, look at the global market and look at how we prepare our citizens there at the university level for them to challenge and compete at the international global market. We still believe in them courses, and they will believe in traditional courses the way the British and that give. So we say, okay, let's look at those job families and make sure we build capacity along the line based on the needs and aspirations. So we director now, we talk about how we do skilling. If we get too much people working on HR, how can we shift them? Don't bring them to accountant. If we get too many accountants in the civil service, that will take so many go train them, many go into different professions then. Rather keep thousands of people that are there as accountants who they don't get job for them. But therefore also upskilling. The one they way then at first level, don't make them go to second level. So I don't get BS in accounting. But the professional courses in accounting, they will do a matter. So we get for them training. That's why we transform the civil service training college to the public service academy. So we create so that we create a bigger environment where we will bring everybody on board and build capacity along the way. We are also looking at e-governance. The world of global technology they drive technology service delivery now. The way I need for Sidon, I need for Komon-Tok Peninsula for good immigration, we get my passport, we already don't get the civil register, not get the NIN number. No, I need to forget an app where I apply for my passport, I pay online, then they can deliver the passport to my house. That's why we have the post office. How do we transform the post office into a new system? Let's alone again, let's alone go to the post office. So post office is almost closed. But there's a new way we will create what DHL do. Recalibrate the post office and put it in a way where they provide the passports, they produce the passport, and we will send them through the post office and deliver them from the house. If I didn't make Kabbalah, I can go to the post office, they get digital system, I can use the portal, if I'm able to be phone, they help me to apply for me passport. And when the passport guy they go back, then they send them for me and use a small thing. So this is what they talk about e-government, but also how do we manage the public service itself? For recruitment, we still there for get these people to apply for 10 people. They have that PSC for beta. I don't say Bokuma don't feel like that. We still for continue for field PSC for 8. No, let's go online. Let's go online and develop the recruitment system. Where if somebody is good there, because you don't get to talk to nobody. Now what you know and not that you go there. And if you don't get the job, you don't say that because you don't get the competency and you don't meet the criteria. And I'm proud for telling and say we already don't get the prototype of the digital system. We call that the government of Sierra Leone HR up. And as I talk to you so now, the ministry get the first phase for do the recruitment and do the terms of reference and contract with the company we for establish this HR hub. Then we transfer the responsibility to the HRM now. For them we do the entire HR system, including the payroll, if it's everything you can't say one quarter. So if even your attendance is going to be top rate. So you go sign a paper again. Or say we 10 votes in app, we'll say 829, 829, 829, 829, 829. Because now I put 830 for saying at the time now. But now at top print, as you put it top print and not register, if you get out of the office, say you're out of the office. I don't allow you for that kind of sign. You understand? So this is going on. But also the media. How do we take everybody along with citizens? With all this what we want to do, we get for carry the people that along with you. We get for communicate to them, we get for talk to the people. Because the people get for understand what you will do, how will they go out, and how they for benefit for them. So one of the pillars and media relation, take the people along, engage the media, make sure to develop a knowledge bank. We are in order to get for doing this reform, therefore this one side with 10, 15, 20, 30 years, students then will come and go into that portal and able to access the information there or the data there, document they will be used for reform the public service of this country. So that again for the also. We also look at gender and social inclusion. Very, very important. We just talk and then we bring with sister there. For they can talk, waiting at the good things and waiting inside the document for the woman. It was deliberate that we reviewed it. Because the Gender Act now is a full section there about the implementation. So we don't need to talk about that. But now, even the recruitment process, without the discussion for beginning, we need a safe space for women, or do we need to give a point to women there in when we do the assessment? So we have to look at all the things there. So these are the pillars that we look. As a ministry, we also don't do institutional assessment of the HRM, the PSC, the PSRU, and the ministry itself for know if they get the capacity for doing these reforms. I will not make recommendations. And by God in power, UNDP is going to support us with other institutions for strengthening their institution they have, let them get the capacity for the delivery of the reforms they want to do. We also don't review the IPAS. This IPAS I can use for assess people there and know if the things the way for you for the year, you really need them.
We don't review, we don't make the validation, don't do the validation. We go into now for develop a policy on how we for implement them and make sure say anybody when they go through that iPass day, you will not say you do them the way you for one. And finally, as a ministry, the transformation of the ministry is very critical. And they invite you now, all the ministry, go see the big changes to that. You know, so check the development past 20 years. we don't begin with a small, and when you go there, you will see the transformation in technology, you know, in the ministry, and how the ministry don't reposition for that. Finally, we get the steering committee. The steering committee of the public sector reform, and then be responsible for monitor the reforms. For over 13 years, it don't go dormant. We don't resuscitate them, we don't activate them. Now, all management and functional review we're going to end this there. We go to that particular committee there for them to provide them advice, and also make sure that anything going to that document is in compliance with the Civil Service Code and all other documents. So that we don't do right now, that we'll continue to talk on what we need to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. He says, Saloma, have you talked? Now he talks so. The minister, they talk. Seriously, he says, Saloma, have you talk? Tell the minister plenty thank you for taking time for lay here to we. Waiting, he don't do. And all this, not going to do anything that will change me and you. Not embrace change. The most difficult thing, even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I tell you, me and the Imam, he said the last jihad will be jihad nafs. You check yourself. You know what you have to do wrong. You accept change. If we not choose for change as Sierra Leoneans, Almighty Allah said, you know, they change any nation until you're ready for change. When I get the opportunity at China, they go through the public service administration. You know one can say. You talk to yourself, is this possible in my country? For this all, whether or not highlights you, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Just with the mindset. See, we all don't define say, that's so we go. For instance, in recruitment at China, public service, where they don't do all things. You don't sit exam, you don't go interview. For let us select the candidate, and they put on a media that Bokari Bawo, Amara Kalo, we want 2 people for a position, and then 2 people that now. Out of these 2 people, we want 1. Then they seek public opinion. Even if you judge somebody in cake, in primary school, it comes against you. With Amara Kalo, you know, get and knock off point. So meaning from where they're born you, say you go, you mind what you do. If me and minister, they work, me own picking they out of the country, straight off, then they hibernate me own promotion. As long as you begin out of the country, the post way you own picking the in country, in deserve the country in opportunity more than him. So you know they get promotion again. They're not stopping for sending people outside the country, but the country back they limit you. And anytime you have found one thing for anything, whether you pay or you not pay, you know they ever use private vehicle. You begin, you woman, you always a public vehicle that they use. So they limit you and they subject you to remorse. You as they don't say you don't do bad. And in China, you papa na you want to bomb. You na you want to papa bomb. You can na you want to bomb. Because they're not being allowed for bomb too. So now you want to pick where you bomb. For in future, you therefore take time when you're in a public office. I shared a platform with a civil society somebody. It's a government for do business. because government also have to do business. But even when you ask the private sector, all the people who do business, they Nationalians, they employ. Like the government employs Nationalians. You go to the Nationalians a day. African orange, Christian Nationalians a day. But what is the difference? When somebody they work for in country and when they work for people, yes, that attitude. The day we change that, perhaps it will be good for us. A whole secretariat was created. Attitude and behavioral change secretariat. The pastor with small white hair. Take it down, the hair all white. We didn't change that attitude. And we are taking that attitude that we didn't change into a new direction. We need work. So it starts with us. Nothing only way difficult for do for the nation and acceptance only. So that is, I mean, didn't say radio, somebody said, okay, Emerson said, if you think say education and a free quality education, we'll bring you Peking. Me Peking and standards. Me, National Islamic Primary School. Nobody will ever come more private school between a class throughout university. And I never share classroom with possible for private school in Bolivia. Because you know the hard way that you should take God. And when you enter the university, you make it. So that just acceptance we need as Syrians. All these things put together not going to mean anything if you don't implement it. And it is not going to be based on an administration. Because administrations come and go, but we stay with the people. So, one of the products of this reform, when Minister don't talk, neither for guiding the civil service. When you told Minister, I didn't know the difference between you and the civil service servants. They are permanent. Civil servants are permanent. If they go, you left there. You know, one man I can with you, then a system, structured one, now you protect it, and now they put inside. So the ones that they put on the ministry, send on the other side. So it is about me, it's about you. At this time, we'll get an opportunity from the Director General of the Human Resource Management Office for let me take you through key areas in this book. If we send all this book, now we've got fast, yeah? So man, if there's one time where you began mathematics last period, how so many of this can be teach at the end? It's actually so.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, who also doubles as the Minister of Information and Civic Education. Honorable Minister of Public Administration, my colleague, Deputy Director of Recruitment, Directors in the HRMO, civil and public servants, members of the court estate, civil society members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to thank the Ministry of Information for organizing this press briefing. I know say the medium of communication are few, but since this document are presented so technical, so the words have to use will be small. I will try as much as possible for breaking down, for breaking so that is the basic. I mean the least man will understand. The minister rightly said that we are on a reform trajectory, or they're on a program for change the civil service and public service by extension, and the government with the minister or Ministry of Public Administration where they coordinate all of these reforms. My own part, I will talk about the civil service code. For we will know the civil service code now a document where they guide the behavior and conduct of people who they serve in the civil service. A code of instruction on on personnel matters. So how are the people now through this presentation? I will do an introduction. I will state why we do the review. Then I will tell that the structure earlier, the revised code. I will talk about the major changes. Hold on, because a very important document, as Mr. said, about 309 pages. So imagine, I just have to skim through. And then I also talk about the benefits that we expect. Some of them also, the minister already talk about them, about the behavioral change. And then we'll just discuss and then ask questions. So I hope that we will bear with me as I traverse through this presentation. So the Civil Service Code came into effect in 2011. Before that, the Civil Service inherit the personnel manual, what they call the general. I don't know how many of you now don't see the general orders or even hear about. The general orders still exist from colonial times. So when the reforms of the Civil Service started back in the early 90s, one of the objectives we government began was for change that document so that because you don't outlive the usefulness. Therefore, they also decided for transform the then establishment secretary's office to a human resource management office. So the office had a hold before this time, it was called establishment secretary's office. So this Civil Service Code belonged in existence for 2011. It be due for review after every 5 years. But the 5th year was, I think, 2016. By then we had so many issues, we had the Ebola and other competing interests not be government poor. So it was not done. But when His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Mada, built over the use of power in 2018, in the manifesto, I remember at the State Opening of Parliament, when I mean the May 2018, he may therefore state the manifesto when he, amongst other, he made commitments that he will review the Civil Service Code, and that by 2023, the Civil Service Code will be reviewed. So that commitment will also transform into the medium-term National Development Plan. The medium-term National Development Plan 2019 to 2023, the state reviewing the service code are one of the objectives there. So, we'll go to next slide. Next slide, please. So, I'll talk about the current medium-term National Development Plan 2024 to 2030. It talks about advancing the public sector architecture. It talks about reviewing legislations and rules and will be governed the service. But apart from this political commitment, a number of emerging issues then don't make a compelling for the government to review the Civil Service Code. We see, say, over the years, we don't enact some laws. We get the Finance Act, we get the QE Act, we get the Employment Act. So then laws there, we make a compelling also. Because the Civil Service Code of old, in general, when civil servants they resign, for example, they get no benefit. Because when the colonialists they make the civil service, they want for them to stay. And they also they give water, they give loan. So restoration, very benefit. For the Finance Act of 2019, Section 29 specifically make provision for end of service when it's separating. So therefore, we don't get a civil service code, we don't speak to them laws. So if we don't try to help the Civic Act, we don't create opportunity for all the 30% of participation of women in the civil service. Then also as scrutiny agencies, we also respond to that. We also get disability issues there. The civil service code not ever, even the general orders, never had anything to do with disability. And we know disabled people are also part of our society. Disability not mean inability. So therefore, we look at the civil service code in view of all of these changes to ensure that we review them for every match. Yes. So you see that the civil service code now don't try for address the issues. So we do a lot of consultations, of course, as any policy document, where we found all the 14 districts in the provinces in the western area also. We give consultations, and we're able for draft them, and then we prepare the cabinet paper, who minister we take to Parliament in December. And on December 18th, Parliament will therefore approve because when the rigorous process, there was a cabinet subcommittee because I document very huge, so they need to go up. We scrutinize them, we criticize them, we try for go through a rigorous process. So eventually it was approved for the civil service or let go back into force. So now we don't print, government don't print for it. Competed, we now have the onus for popularize. We have to popularize. We have to train people in the use of the code. We have teacher officers, we have permanent secretaries, we have professional people. All of what is in this book, they are affected. So they need to understand the things inside this book. The owner said the public was supposed to hold accountable. But there are issues here what people do with whistleblowing now. We never done it. We public or members of the public raise issues of civil servants and report. This has never been part of the civil service code. So whistleblowing about impropriety, all of it is part of the code now. But as they go through the code, people are going to grasp and see and say it's a document for the public, not only for the HRM but for the entire public. So the previous service code had 13 chapters. Now this service code has 16. So the areas I highlight are the new chapters. Some chapters were merged. Some chapters we collapsed into one. For example, leave was disaggregated. There's certain areas where we get for maternity leave. They get other areas we do study leave. Other areas we no pay leave, or special leave. Now the leave has been collapsed into one. So if you go to chapter 11, you see. Okay? And then we also have created an area where we address disability and occupational health. Because occupational health is an emerging issue. Now the world, people they go work, they forget a safe environment. If you work, you don't forget injury, you don't forget sick in our workplace. People don't put like us, don't forget take our workplace. So for ensure the workplace also healthy. So these are all emerging issues in HR. So we try to include that in the civil service code. And then we talk about work ethics. It's very important. The issues there, we talk about what this is a big one. When we talk about how we carry themselves. We are servants for gift service. We should be prepared to render service to the public without any fear of people. We dress code, the way we communicate, is all in that ethics chapter. And then we get the gender mainstream, where we basically drawn from the GB Act. Because we don't have the civil service code coincide or conflict with any existing laws. So all existing laws then we look at them and then incorporate them. So basically, and then the last aspect of the administrative manual, when I just inform the use. So basically, if you go to the screen go up. Let me just go ahead. Okay. What's starting and then we show like the new code we talk about the 14 grade system. That you can see. The new civil service code, the code we talk about 17, although we actually operated 14 grades. But this civil service code is very now definite. I will not categorize the grade set. So people in grade 14, we call them super scale. Those in grades 10 to 13 are senior management. Grade 7 to 9, when middle level management. Then 4 to 6, junior officers, and then 1 to 3 support officers. So in the area of recruitment, also, most of the provisions have stayed, but one area I want to look at was that we are in a very small society. All of us are related to one another. So we have a clause where they say the post committee for avoid or post spouses at the same duty stage. So, for example, I'm married, I'm in a civil service. I don't really as Director General, I'm working as Deputy Director General or whatever. You don't go other way. So we are looking at those instances. I don't say some organizations get that kind of provision. If you have a spouse or a close relative, and then the civil service code will also define who's a close relative. It could be your wife, your mama, your papa. You don't say your relative not be employed, but you and your relative not one person, one situation. You are one ministry or not one situation. For example, Ministry of Health situation. Then in a public health today, to be spouse now. Medical doctor or what of you. So you have to distinguish all of those things. And then we don't say also that induction, don't reduce the induction period. For this time, the civil service, when we train, we do 3 years of induction. We do 3 years of probation. Yes. So, and we don't realize the civil service, we for time for induction. When we take them, we just send them out. So they go without any orientation. This whole people say now for actually induct everybody, every one person, for tell them what are the rules. Because most people come into the workplace, they don't get what we call a work culture. They don't know what work culture. So my job is you're working at any time. So now you already need to talk about biometric time and attendance and all of it. So the orientation is also important because it creates that work environment and work culture in mind of the employee. We also don't say that, of course, when you retire or when you disengage in accordance with the Finance Act, if you do 1 year, you are entitled to end of service benefit, and it's 1 month gross salary. So you 1 year, 1 month gross salary. So it's easy. So you don't need for you don't need for force. You work till you retire. If you left, so when people 1 year, 2 years, decide to explore other opportunities. So there's privilege also people to go into civil service. Right? And to force them, go to civil service, but let them take you above grade 7. Not easy. They go to call credit entry. All credit starts at that level, and then you go up. But now we recruit people at the level 12, as it used to be. It's not possible because we don't create lateral, we call it lateral entry. So these are all reforms for making civil service more flexible. And again, the salary structure and allowances, we don't entirely now remove them in the civil service code. It's no longer the business of the general because we have now a wages and compensation commission. So the wages and compensation commission now they get a mandate for determining pay across the whole public sector architecture. But we recommend the reintroduction of the notch system. Before this time, civil servants had notches. So, for example, if I come grade 1, I get several notches. For example, if I come grade 1, I will start on level 1, then I move. If I not get promotion, I get increments every year based on the performance. But now I want to get 1 bar. So if you're in grade, if I start grade, you'll be there forever until you're promoted. So now we say, no, introduce the notch system so that you are there. We also relate to performance to grade. And then also, we don't start to standardize certain practices there. Like normally, civil servants, because of the unavailability of vehicles, civil servants use their private vehicles. So at times, government assists with fuel. So we have made it very clear that in a grade 7 of people that are in grade 7 and above, where they use their private vehicles for do the day-to-day duties of government, so 5 liters of fuel, and of course. That's also subject after every year they will inspect for CCA, auditor to inspect for CCAS, indeed as a people and register. And of course, the other arrangements, people the way get by, so they use for dispatch, these are all people who can also benefit from based on the availability of funds. Because in some cases, we know some ministries are constrained. Okay, more people get so maybe they might not have people. So you go actually, and so they but also there that depends on the availability of a budget. Right? So that's the caveat. And promotions, of course, we don't say it's based on merit, and that we will say that people will be doing skills development, and we prepare people for playing roles in higher jobs. So if you are being promoted, for example, from deputy secretary to permanent secretary, we know that's a very big leap. We need to prepare you orientation and some professional training to ensure that you prepare role permanent secretary. And again, the maternity leave, we also take the cue from the Jury Act. The maternity leave over 12 weeks, but the Jury Act say for this 14 weeks. That has been now also reflected in the full. We also get maternity. Yes, very interesting. Yes. So before this time, if we talk about gender issues, about man and woman, not to just woman, so man themselves also take care, or take part in child care. So the civil service code for the first time has introduced under rule 6.59 maternity leave, where the husband can be away for 14 days for help from care. So that was a popular suggestion, and when we went around the country, everybody agreed say, forget paternity, not only maternity. Okay, so then chapter 8, performance management. I don't go to the inside. Performance management, we know now way for access. I mean, we get way for most civil servants accountable also. So we don't just want to remove, they don't get that for way for access. So that performance management tool has been introduced. You know, say president is signing performance contract with ministers. Ministers too is signing contract with the public servants. So in the civil service, for example, the head of civil service, secretary to the cabinet and head of civil service, sign contracts with permanent secretaries, heads of departments, professional heads, in grade level and above. They sign with the head of civil service. And then contract there, they draw from the ministry, the minister new contract. Then we get now the individual performance management system, where we the manage and also from grade 1 to 10, we the manage that IPA system. And as I even talk now, we director there, if you go right round, because of this press briefing there, we go right to monitor all the other setting targets. So at the beginning of the year, we set target and for ensure that that target is monitored. So basically, that's that for performance management. And training, minister talk and say very important. Capacity building is so important. We have a kind of process where we make sure say we pass on knowledge and skills. So the Civil Service Training College reopened in 2012, and we get a plan now to public service academy. So that public service academy will meet the training needs of the entire public service. So the Civil Service Training College, we don't, for the first time, they don't got a civil service code now. It's part of the civil service code. It talks about the board, a civil service code, civil service training college, a board for manager. And then if also get a committee where for look at the training needs, training plans of all the civil servants. And we also don't get cabinet also approved that ministries, 30% of ministries training votes for centralize them for civil servant training. So for them and the civil service training college for training, because we know they get problem with funds. Times training is always giving, well, I would say part of our work, we need attention to training. If I want there's budget cut, the first thing they say for cost my training. So we need training. Because people will learn on the job. But training, I can tell you, it's so important. I mean, it's because of training that all of us have to step. Training don't do over the years, government. So we set the obligation for training. So that 30% that will be the school for the training both of all MBAs to ensure that they provide for the training needs of the service. And then we also get chapter 10 talk about foreign service personnel, people are really served at the foreign service, also get in the regulation. So it talks about postings, and the postings of all foreign service personnel, and the Director General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will do a consultation with the administrative officers postings committee. Because most of the staff foreign postings, they belong to the administrative cadre. So that should provide for. And then we also get a provision with first step. When you are in foreign service, if they for pay for child allowance for education, picking up for residence, you force. But look and say it's not fair because you have certain stations that are difficult, and also stations in terms of language barrier. You don't want people to all learn in English. I don't want to get a country where you go to speak, Portuguese or Spanish. Then I go for change there, go straight. So definitely, if I'm posted in a country where the language is French or Portuguese, I don't want to let them go now sideway, they go learn English. So we don't say now that if you begin not in system, if you know that side, once a child beyond 18 years, he or she will be entitled to support. Not for the team. Because not all side you go in the beginning. So that has been actually provided for. They will also make a provision for spouse allowance. That people, foreign service personnel, most times, so the spouse is very open. When you are posted, even if you're a lady, your husband, you're your wife, they don't allow you for work. So you have to depend on the salary of your spouse. And most times, that money will be for sustain. So now we say that for spouses who are there not working, government should provide spouse allowance. The only thing when you spouse not with you, no one entitled to that allowance. So that's and then of course clothing allowance also because the foreign service gets certain expectations because you're representing CIO, so therefore you should be presentable in a way that at least internationally you can be also reckoned with. So and then we also get a chapter of provision. We realize that the civil service code has never had any provision for provision. The bulk of service delivery in this country, like promise is taken. And we don't need local councils. The local councils are there, they have their own money. But even when the local councils are there, we also have civil servants who belong to the permanent agency, who represent the civil service in the presence of the official secretaries, the district officers, and also even staff of professional staff, ministries of health, ministries of social welfare, all have staff that are deployed in the province. We need to have a way for managing because the constitution is significant proportion. You cannot leave them out. So because most times when I go around, when I do civil service school, when I do outreach, most of the complaint was that people in the provinces they feel so neglected. And they are close to the service. I mean, they deliver the service. So we don't design a chapter, we will try for we look at this provincial administration, what will be the entitlements there. Because most times they travel on tracks very frequently. And at times they don't even have vehicles on very rugged roads. You know, they sustain injuries in the course of actually executing activities. So all issues have been looked at to ensure that the administration also gets still. And then chapter 12, I talk about disability issues, right? Disability of patient health and safety. Of course, we don't say disabled people are also entitled to be employed. Disabled people are also entitled to be employed in the civil service. We don't make provision for the fact that when you advertise jobs, disabled people who get the qualification will be entitled to the same right as people that will normal because disability is not inability. Then we will also make provision for not getting a friendly disabled environment. If you have a disabled person, you can get support for them to participate in more. I remember one of these schools, this run and roll. So you get people who they fine. They can't discover that they fine for this. They get short sight. They bring them in front of the class. And so teachers they do. I remember those days. Who go down to the school. So they sat in the front because they need a refer or they say they are short sighted. They say can't afford. So these are the things we are also looking at. That in the workplace, we should be supportive to people with disability. They also get rules that I want to look at also injury. If you get injury in the course of the discharge of your duties, you are supposed to be taken care of. Not for those things, because the rules have decided that people they sustain injuries. So we're not going to work normal, but I will face it every become disabled. So we should be able to take care of these people until they actually show that disability not going to allow them to continue the work, and that will separate them. And we separate them with the full benefits. So that's it for social security, and then work ethics. I spoke a little bit about that. Conflict of interest. Where civil servants' interests are competing with their personal interests, we have to show up together. And civil service is a public institution. Your business to serve. So, for example, if I do on a panel now, an interview, I don't say the my sister, my brother, I will reduce myself from that panel because it might be interpreted as prejudice. If I get business, I don't register business, and I also am a post controller or a procurement officer. All of these are conflicts of interest. We work very closely with the anti-corruption commission for getting vision. But when you read the document, you will see most of the details there. But the point is that they try for safeguard, excesses of civil servants and also make them accountable, so that they don't their interest to compete with the public interest. And then interestingly, we introduce whistleblowing. Whistleblowing is like when you try to raise some wrongdoing, at the workplace, so they have to fine. So just personal trouble. You declare you go anonymous, you don't let them know your identity, you report to the head of department, to the director general, those misaccept as the case may be. Because a lot of wrongdoing happen, but they talk about that, or they feel for trouble. So if you are a member of the public, you know somebody doing something all right for trouble. Then civil service, say member of the public do something we don't do for the civil service for the public. For the public service. Raise up. So this chapter they address the issue of whistleblowing, conflict of interest, and then work ethics. Work ethics is about how how they dress, how they handle correspondence, and that if you have we get the right to access information. Commission, we want to very closely because they have this public disclosure, public information available to them. So we don't provide, we don't say, okay, there has to be control because every ministry department, they get the permanent secretary, the head of that. So but before you divulge any information to the press, you have to have permission so that at least no time like that, you are speaking information into the social media. Normally, it causes a lot of embarrassment, but that's the order of the day. So we talk about also, if you ask for information, the right to access, if you still work days for provide that document. If the ministry of department not provide that document or information, then the report that will be a matter of discipline. Except where it's a classified information, of course, information we get for hidden security, those ones are not public domain. So we don't know about the classification of information. We have classified information that's not for the public domain. Of course, we do security and other issues where not sensitive. Or issues that will come to be one for hospitals and recruit, whether they recruit, it's not a secret document. So these are the things I'm talking about. So we should bring this part of it, and again, the gender mainstreaming, Abuaneka decided with sister, she will talk on the gender mainstreaming, so I'm going to present the chapter, sister will talk on that, and so I will skip that side, and discipline, of course, is a whole chapter now. Discipline is also very important because 90 if you bite, then they will never take it seriously. So we don't introduce the system. We have a list of discipline actions. But for that, mostly people they find it difficult for tapping people. So now we don't make it easier. We don't make a list of all offenses. For example, if you are coming to work, somebody is absent for days. Somebody uses foul language. They abuse all sorts. We don't try for map all any offenses. Now we don't put it in the code. And we don't put it prescribed. The prescribed punishment for this, because really the discipline, as I say, is one thing that really is affecting us. Because if we don't forget a society that is just and accountable, we have to be.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So separation. The last chapter has to do separation. Actually, it's about now saying that if you resign, you will resign entitled to benefit.
Thank you very much.
I'm running up. If you resign without, when you have you indebted or you're under disciplinary action, read accelerated resignation. Okay, so the rest of it actually is the administrative manual. So that you read them, you see what's available. But again, let me just end by let's talk about the benefits of this civil service. One, civil service school don't realize government aspiration as embedded in the middle of the national development plan. People would expect it because this act now will therefore put women in stability, people with stability for protect the right. To improve stability, to improve work ethics, it will motivate the workforce for improved productivity, it will improve transparency and accountability, and of course, it will increase popular participation at the local level with the inclusion of the brand chapter of the local provincial administration. On that note, basically what we about. Just summarize them in a nutshell. I want to thank you all. Well, if I may say I'm going to would have this presentation does not last at least for 5 to 1 hour. At least 1 hour. Normally. And I think I did less than that. Okay. Thank you so much for your attention and patience. And I think
I want to thank you on behalf of everybody who listens to you. It is a marvelous job. Whosoever the civil service code of conduct they affect knows that a lot has gone into this work. You will not understand what they do if you don't affect you. But one thing I appreciate from the two speakers is when this ministry was created, And when the mandate was given to the minister, some critic, what did they say? Well, now the civil service, the job they don't can't take, and they have HRMO, they work, and the ministry they can't take. PSC, the job, and the ministry they can't take. But the synergy, the minister actually say, the work where they do, one of the outputs, like this, meaning there is collaboration. They are not duplicating any job. Somebody is enhancing what this kind of possible do. For make sure say the end product gets a national outlook. Just guide this process, but everybody know in limits that at this are for do, now this post is responsible for this. The minister empathies that we work in output like this. And this not only like a perfume, it gives somebody else for wrong with you. So the one way the thing say this ministry, they conflict with HRMO or PSC. No. In this session, we don't get a clear that these people get defined roles. Just like when some people can conflict, NAMED, the National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate, and Audit Salon. M&E is not audit. Or some people not delve into waiting some person is supposed to do. It just works up the 2 hours. Usually, one time you plenty tanky, and I hope so we all understand how they don't lay out to me. Before now, you know the British man there waiting the left time there. 2011, they do something. Wait for review every 5 years. So 2016, they were supposed to review this. It didn't happen. So that in itself tell you say, that process we don't delay. That process we for don't happen. But now it don't happen. There's a lot of reform. And the icing now that there's a ministry now where they coordinate or the superintendent waiting for goal. Because if Nigeria don't want to sit down, they say let them prepare this thing. You will say that they just want for fit or for suit themselves. But there's a ministry where they coordinate. And you don't take them to this level. Plenty work, I don't go into. And the reason why we already look at reforming the public service sector, public service. When I see what's happening, from where did you start for top? I got screen off. Now only in public service they happen. Private sector, they don't encourage that. Who is responsible for that thing? In no saying the responsibility. And it makes sure it take them to the latter. Those details, already pay attention to in public service. 90% all the work. That's just the difference between public service and private service. Public sector, private sector. Private sector, let's say, I don't go work per day. I was home, the boss called me, where are you? I said, don't you know today is Ramadan? He said, yes, it's Ramadan that pays you. I said, why are you talking like that? He said, if you don't come to work, do you know it will cost you your job? Address, I go. But I mean, public service, Gigi called me and said, go. Gigi said, it's the service code of conduct. He not talk so. But I didn't quote any provisions. They just tell me saying, what if you do so it will cost you a job? Because you already forgive extra. I went there. So in the public and private sector, those things, how we commit ourselves to job. I'm very much happy when they get these things straight. No, all understand. And now there's a Bible. Because for mobile local and also have any code of conduct, but they will always quote it, the PS, and the quote. You don't get it. Junior staff said, they quote this thing, I don't get it. And as a quote, you go see it. Because you don't get it. Now I have it. Yeah, I'll read it. At this point, we always look at the gender issue. So now we'll talk to Deputy Director for let me just tell me waiting then they expect as women from this reform. Thank you.
Adia this afternoon, they represent the woman then at the civil service. For long, we got to anticipate this particular book. Because the one way the day, now in principle, will not be get some for make reference to. So on behalf of the woman them and the civil service, we want to say thank you to the drafters and the approvers of this book, especially the Director General, the Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, and the Director General of Human Resources Management Office. Because we the woman, now we are partners in development. No nation, no day will go thrive without the involvement of a woman. And for long, we don't be left behind in terms of leadership positions. We agree. But with the approval of this code, we know say it will change. Because now we guess that we say we will hold them accountable. Because we in a male-dominated society we live. They don't dey behind before we for long. But we aspire say we will meet them one day. And the leadership only show the commitment for say they will give you what they aspire for. Because conscious efforts are there on the way for ensure say woman them voice and the civil service will be heard, the representation, the participation in meaningful. Now that they make, then give we one whole chapter when at the chapter 14 of the civil service code, they dedicate them for ensure say they achieve 30% or more where the woman they clamor for. And for why